Good evening and welcome to Chatbox with Sam. Good evening, AnnaMaria. Welcome to Chatbox with Sam. I'm really honoured for you to be on my show. You are the first actress and we're all excited about this. So I have a few questions to ask you. So AnnaMaria, if you were to inspire the younger generation, what would be the main focus?
Well, I hope I inspire the younger generation. I have nieces and I have a son, so I'm constantly thinking about that through my craft too, and what I do every day in life. But I think I would say I would hope to let them know that they have time. When I think of this question, I think of like, what would I say to my younger self? And when I was young, I just wanted to grow up really fast. And I felt like I had to do everything in my life had to hit me in my 20s. And, my career had to go off that way. I wanted to get married in my 20s. And like, life is like what you make of it. And you just have to take life moment to moment. And you do have time. We have time. So I would say take time and enjoy and savor moments. That has been a big thing for me, is just savoring moments. Like, even if it's like a tea or like, a glass of water, to enjoy this water. We just like drink it and just move forward. And I would say also, make sure you do what you love.
Aww.
Yeah. Find that thing, and just, even though it sounds crazy to other people, just do what you love and everything will follow.
That's a great answer. Thank you so much for answering that question. And so, what inspired you into this career?
When I was younger, I didn't think I would be an actress. I thought acting was really amazing, and that people in Hollywood were born and raised there, and this was like untouchable. So I didn't have that when I was younger, that little like, oh, but I did have the fire of wanting to tell stories, whether that was writing or acting or being on stage. I came from a background of dance. And so in my 20s, I had a boyfriend, or it was like 19, 20, I had a boyfriend, and he was in film. And his friend was a director, and he's like, hey, we're doing this short film. Do you want to be in it? And I was like, okay. I've never acted before, but okay. And I was in it and I saw it and I did it. I didn't even get the inspiration actually doing it. It was when I saw the end result, I was
Wow.
blown away. And I was like, this is exactly what I want to do. Because when we were shooting, it was the first time I did a short film. We were shooting out a sequence and I didn't understand it. I was like, how is this going to come all together? I don't get it. And so when I saw it, I was so shocked and surprised, and it really inspired me to pursue acting. And now I write as well because I want to tell the stories. And that was kind of inspired by just getting a job and working for like a tech company. And really, my boss at the time was, he inspired me to do my own things, and he would always challenge me in the tech workplace. And he would always make me go, okay, if you think that's going to work for our technology, go and figure it out yourself. And I was like, what? I don't know how to do this. And he's like, you just figure it out. And he gave me this, it was kind of like the catalyst of like, if you want to do it, go do it. And I just took that kind of skill and put it in filmmaking. And I was like, okay, if I want to do this, I better like start writing. I don't know how to write. I don't know how to write screenplays.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into writing and jumping into screenwriting classes and meeting teachers and just networking with people and meeting people.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you found what was good for you, what your soul wanted to do. You fitted in just by trying it out.
Yeah, and it kind of, I believe that everybody has like a path, right?
Yes.
Like you have this, I wouldn't even say a place, just a direction.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you can be very clear on your path and get there this way. But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you kind of take your curves and, kind of go this way, and and then you quit, and you go on trips, and then you meet people along the way, and you kind of go, but you still end up going to where you need to be.
Right.
So for me, I feel like sometimes I wouldn't follow my passion, and I was like, I want to make money. So I started getting like, working and quitting the industry and getting these jobs, but they all ended up like inspiring me on my road to where I wanted to go. So, I mean, I think everything is like nothing. Where you are today is where you're supposed to be, and I don't know, everything that I've ever done, so like kind of directed me into where I'm going right now.
And never give up, right? Yeah. And we've been in a stalemate with COVID, and the industry shut down as long as the same as many other businesses.
Like COVID even affected it differently. Like it could have been negative and positive. For me, having that time and spending time with my family, really gave me the perspective of like more, first of all, clarity in my career, and my career shifted because I felt like I started to get to know myself all over again, and at a deeper level. I always like rediscovering parts of myself, and like going, oh, I miss reading or dancing, or getting back into things or discovering something new. And so the pandemic kind of allowed me to spend more time with my family and get to know them and their past story, like my parents' past story. And it's just like another level that I get to like learn about myself. And then I saw my career shift. I saw like me working more than I ever have in my life.
Oh, that's good. So it was positive for you then. So in all the roles that you've played and the characters, is there any particular one, or maybe a couple of them, where you've seen your own persona, your own personality, and you've identified that with that character? And which one was that?
There's a few. Definitely, like I wrote a short film called Check Please. It was about a girl who went on dates for food. I don't go on dates for food, but I created this girl, like, searching for love, and it looks from the perspective that she just goes out for food, but really she wants to find love. I think that was one of my favorite roles. I wrote it, and I started it, but I also worked with some really cool people, on and off screen. And so that was like one of my favorites, because not only did I see like the story come to life, I saw how I inspired other people, after finishing that short film. For like, I want to do my own short film, or but I really I was able to be myself a little bit more.
Is that short film available to watch?
Yeah, it's on Vimeo, so you can see it. It's called Check Please. I've done a couple like movie of the weeks that have been super fun. I have a role coming up in Texas that I'm really looking forward to. I think that's going to be it's a very different color for me to play. So I'm really looking forward to that. I play like an alcoholic mother, and it's just a different character I've never played before. So I'm really excited. Not that that's me, but I think I can bring a part of myself through there, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Right, yeah, because obviously, because that is a disease and people can't identify, so maybe you can draw some empathy from the audience for that person and different perspective,
exactly.
And that's great though, because it can be challenging, especially if you're obviously not that person, and not judging anyone that is, but I think it's amazing that people can just swoon to another character and play that. You learn it and absorb it, and then you play that role, and I think it's amazing that you can do that.
As I got to know myself more,
Yeah.
I became better and better at my craft. So, I'm an alcoholic and I'm playing this, but I still have to be like, what is it with this character that I sort of can relate to?
Yeah.
And when I'm able to do that, then at least I can give off a more authentic performance. On top of like researching and studying and things like that, because it is a disease, and but also they're human, and have I struggled at things? Absolutely. So I can bring that struggle, even though it's not like with alcoholism. So you just kind of connect with some parts and try to bring that out. So I'm looking forward to that. So I think for me, like Check Please was the one that really pivoted for me, because I wrote that specifically to be like, I want to play something different and fun and, kind of girl and like kind of girly, but fun and uplifting, but she's not perfect, and she's kind of a mess. And, I like seeing those characters on camera, that unperfect.
And it's funny because when you said that, I nearly laughed, because my friend, I'm not going to say her name, but she's lovely, and she just jokes when she says it, because she does want to find love. She's like, so she goes on a date, she went, girls got to eat. And when you said that, I was like, that's awesome. Definitely going to look out for that Check Please, because I'm going to send it to her. I think she'll be able to identify with it too.
I love food, and I think a lot of people, like my family, we were always on the go, but the one time we were able to connect as a family was through like together at the dinner table.
Right.
So I brought that kind of element into it, really.
And it's true. My family's Irish, and the big thing was, dinner table, sitting around the dinner table. Everyone. There was nobody with plates on their lap like there is, and the kids upstairs on the PlayStation, and the other. No, we were all there at the table. Family time. Yeah. It was very important, and that's where you talk to each other. Irish,
We talked.
Yes, yeah. It's good because you're communicating with each other, and while you're doing that, you're bonding. How has music influenced your life?
Music plays a huge part in my life. I mean, I was a dancer growing up, so music and dance kind of go hand in hand. But also my parents are ballroom dancers, and I have two brothers that are big on music. I think my youngest brother actually went to like 700 concerts in his life. Like,
oh, lovely.
Every stuff, like, and so I had two brothers that were like, they played musical instruments like the piano, guitar, drums, like, and I just had I was very influenced with music in my life. So growing up, my mom would get up extremely early, like at a godly hour, like 6 a.m. whatever, and she would blast the music. Usually it was like Frank Sinatra or Doris Day or Dean Martin or something.
Yes.
She put it really, really loud, and that's how she started every morning. And she would sing, and you know what? It was one of my favorite memories.
Yeah.
My mom has dementia now.
Aww.
But for me, it's like, that is a memory that I have in, like, it's like visceral. And so I wake up in the morning now and I play music. Now I play music and I dance, and that's a part of my morning routine, just to get my body moving and flow and, loosen up, and I love music. Yeah. So even when I write, I listen to music to inspire me. I've written scenes where I listen to a song and I write the scene. Like, even the way the song goes up is like the same way where I'll do something in the writing. So it has influenced me big time. And I'm a big dancer to this day. Like, I love dancing. So it's not unusual for me to dance on my own in my house. My neighbors probably think I'm crazy, or they think my music's way too loud. But I love loud music, but I also like all genres. Like, I do listen to Sinatra and Dean Martin and things like that. I listen to indie and house and world music and French music and Spanish, Italian, like the Gypsy Kings, like
Awesome.
yeah, I think so. But one of my favorites, though, it has to be like a house, like a soulful
Mm-hmm.
disco house or like French house, just
Yeah.
because I can dance. I just love the feeling of the beat in my body. And it is, it really, to me, music is healing. And like I said, my mom has dementia now. And
Oh,
when we put music on, it's really it really is like healing. It's almost like she's the person I remembered her like growing up. Like she gets back to who she
she
was
was.
through music.
It's a memory
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
music makes memories for people. Everyone in
Yeah.
the world has a
It
memory
creates.
for a moment, you know.
Mhm.
We
And
all,
it's interesting because she'll remember every single lyric. She will not be off on that. And then
oh,
she come and then when she listens to this music, she has stories to go with the song. So this other part of her memory comes back. It's
hmm
it's really really unique. So I believe music's healing, and it's a big part of my life for sure.
you know, having trouble with communication and you play a song, everyone's in the same mode.
Yeah, I
It
always
brings us
say
together, brings us together.
totally brings us together. And I always say, you really want to, there's people out there that don't, if you have a boyfriend or whatever,
Mm.
and you don't know
What
what
to say?
kind of not like in or whatever, you can just kind of tell by what they're listening to. And if
Hmm.
you just kind of listen to the lyrics to the song they're singing, it gives you information of where they are.
Right.
It's like really interesting. Music does like communicate in certain ways that you don't even know. You just have to listen and feel.
Oh, you're very empathic. I like that.
Yeah. Thank
So
you.
what dance do you do? You ballroom, regular dancing? Um,
Yeah, I was raised doing like ballet and jazz,
oh, lovely.
lyrical house, break dance. I break dance for a while, and then now I'm going into more ballroom. And I was doing tango before the pandemic.
Hmm.
It's really quite difficult to do tango without a partner, but you can learn the tango steps. But
Hmm.
so I'm gonna go into ballroom now. Like I just want to dance for the rest of my life, and I just want to learn something new. So as I'm just dancing every day, now I'm gonna learn more, which is the
Yes,
ballroom. I can watch a ballet and just cry because it's so mesmerizing and beautiful.
it
So
is.
I
It
feel
is.
you.
So I'm glad, and it's good exercise too. It's like swimming. You move all your body, so it's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah, you're isolating muscles, so everything is just. That's why ballet dancers are so toned and yeah.
I know they do look toned. I'm like, I'm not even going to try it. Not at my age. So the next question is, what out of all the charities to choose from, which one would you advocate for the most and why?
It would be, I think, well, I'm a mom, and after I had my son, I had postpartum,
Hmm.
and I didn't know it at the time. I didn't know anything of it. There wasn't celebrities speaking out on it like there
Right.
are today,
Hmm.
and so it is incredibly uh, it's a big percentage, almost like 20-30%, I believe, even in the pandemic, where women come out having
Postpartum. Yeah.
postpartum anxiety, depression, psychosis. And those are the women that are saying they have, like, they feel something different. So there's a lot more women like
Hmm.
myself that are not even speaking up about it. So there's this organization that I
Yeah.
would like advocate for, and I've given I've volunteered my time with them for quite a bit,
Hmm.
like quite a bit of in the last 6 months. I haven't, but they're called Postpartum Support International, and
Yes.
basically They're available in North America and all around the world, really.
Mm-hmm.
And they're a helpline, but they'll they'll help you get resources in your community if a woman is feeling this way. And we're trying to educate people, not only the women and moms, but
Mm-hmm.
like your friends and partners and parents, because they're the ones that are going to be seeing it. So if we get the word out and like start educating people that this may happen and it's you can be yourself again, I think more people would speak up about not feeling themselves, So that's like true to my heart, just because that's something that's like really what I've gone through and I understand. So now that when I helped on the helpline,
Mm-hmm.
you know, at the time when I had it, which was like 5, 6 years ago, I thought I was like the only person in the world. I was like, this
Oh,
feels
you're not.
myself.
You're
Yeah.
definitely, but you might feel that way because they do need more support groups. I know Brooke Shields had a hard time when she came out, and people wasn't understanding it because it's like, I mean, your hormones are already going crazy anyway. You've had
Yeah, you're
your
changing. You
body's,
just a
yeah.
person out of your body that's taken all your nutrients and supplements, and
Hmm.
hormones are changing, environment's changing. You have this baby, and then on top of the pandemic, some women were suffering through there by yourself isolation. Where back in the day, you had a village helping. It was normal
Right.
for the village to literally help with the baby. So, and I think like as we're like stepping into the 21st century and being like women are self-sufficient, we can do this all on our own. Like we're forgetting that when you have a kid, you still need help.
Yeah.
You can't do it all on your own. So ladies are so great. They volunteer their time
Oh.
and great is that they really try to help in the
Yeah.
areas like if someone calls in and they don't like they can't find anybody, they really try to find someone, and they will take days upon days until they find something for you if
Yeah.
they can't. Like they're just great, like just a great community of women who probably have gone through it themselves. A lot of them have gone through it themselves. So when you're calling in, you're not just like talking to someone that's just like, oh, okay, whatever. That sounds awful. You're like, I know this feeling. I know
Yeah.
this feeling. Me. So it's more of a a trust thing that you end up talking to someone like a lot like a live person. So
Yeah.
for me, that organization is like true to my heart. So
Exactly.
that's
Yeah.
what
I
I
know.
would give.
I think I know, and that's the first time I've heard of a support group. So I'm really glad that you brought that up. And it's scary being a new
Yeah,
mom anyway. You know that you got this baby.
yeah,
They don't come. They don't come with you know a to-do list, and it's scary
yeah.
having
Or
a baby
like here's
anyway.
that. Yeah, and you know what? I went to a therapist because I was afraid. I was afraid that maybe I would get postpartum,
Hmm.
and I still got it, and I still didn't know. I didn't
No.
even think, like, you know what I mean? That's how, like, such a outer body sort of experience I had
Yeah.
that I was, this doesn't associate with, like, because I didn't have postpartum depression, I had postpartum anxiety. So I was like, I'm not sleeping, I'm not crying, I'm not sad. So it didn't resonate with me to, like, what I was going through.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And and there's a lot of moms that go through that.
Does it eventually subside, or does it stay with you, or or is it different for other people? I'm only asking so we can let the viewers
Yeah, yeah.
see this. So a lot of viewers that it's happened to them, they can identify with it a little bit. You know.
Well, I would say it's really scary to reach out to get help,
Hmm.
and it could be something that stays with you if you don't get help. So
Right.
I always say, the sooner you get help, the sooner you'll feel yourself again.
Yeah.
And like with me, I suffered for years because I didn't
Oh.
get help. And I took a different path, and I found like more of a yoga and meditation kind of route, but it took me years to find something that made me feel myself again.
Hmm.
But then after I never felt the postpartum anymore, I had to go back to therapy and talk about my experience because it
Hmm.
was trauma for me. I felt
Yeah.
alone, I felt scared, I felt no. So I had to talk about that to get rid of it. So for me, I had this really long process. And if
Hmm.
I just got the help I needed from the moment I felt it, I
Yeah.
think it would have been a lot shorter. So this is what this postpartum sport international would do, is to get help for you right away. And that could be in whatever direction that you want. Some people are like, I don't want to go on medicine. I don't like yoga and meditation. Like, there's still options for whatever direction you want to go. And I
Right.
think that's the greatest part, because you don't want to put every single person on like and they're just a helpline. They wouldn't ever tell you that. They would like guide you to an expert if you wanted something like that. We are just people that would like support you
Yeah.
on the helpline, but there's definitely experts that can help with other things. But yeah, so I think I took the long way,
Yeah.
and so I always tell women, don't do what I did. Now that I know, don't do what I
Right.
do. Get help as soon as you can. I think that's like with anything, any disease or complicate, like,
Yeah.
get help as soon as you can.
Anxiety,
But I didn't
depression.
know. Weird. Yeah, yeah, but it is hard,
Mm-hmm.
that's the problem. It's hard to speak up and not feel judged, and like this is the great thing about social media in a way, where people are speaking about mental illness and
Mm-hmm.
voicing their experiences, and it makes people feel like, oh, I feel that too. Maybe I should go get help, because this is what I'm feeling. I didn't know that.
Right.
So I think it's a positive thing.
It is. And I'm really glad you brought it up. Because with any mental health, with anxiety, postpartum depression, um, you know, there is help out there. And some people
Hmm.
feel ashamed or embarrassed to and think they've got this, and they don't realize how deep they're in, or they think they can do it or by themselves. And problem shared is a problem halved. And
Yeah.
I think if people reach out, and 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 there's a lot more awareness where people hold their hands out, at least to the people that want to reach out, meet them halfway, encourage them
Yeah.
to come in and seek help.
Yeah, that's why it's really important to have compassion for people, because you don't know what people are going through.
Right.
You see people for face value, and you're just like, well, I don't get it, so I don't understand. No, like, we really have to go, well, I don't know what you're going through, but I'm going to have compassion for you, because
Yes.
like, this is your experience. And you try to understand. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to, but being a supportive person is goes a long way.
And I said this to somebody else. You don't have to walk in someone's shoes, but you can
Yeah.
walk beside them.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
just
Yeah.
help. Yeah, just that's supportive enough.
Like, I didn't use them when I went through it. It was only after, and I was like,
Right.
I want to help people, because I was just so boggled. I was like, how do people not know this? So I started like Googling and researching, and I
Right.
started following them. And then they were like, hey, looking for volunteers. And I was like, this is perfect. I want to
Mm-hmm.
help people. So it was just such, I couldn't believe it that I didn't know. I didn't
Oh.
know.
How do you feel about what has transpired since COVID? And do you ever see us returning to a normality as it was, or do you think it's going to be a new normal?
Um, I think COVID, there was a lot of sad experiences that people have had, so I don't want to downplay that part. However, I think it was a transformational time for a lot of people, a lot of friends and family that I know, at least.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I hung out with my family the whole
Mm-hmm.
time, and I got to spend that quality time. Me and my son got to spend quality time with my family, and that was very transformational for me, because we're working all the time. We're working, we're busy, we're doing things, that was a lot. That was something that was like really pivotal in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, more I do, the better person I am, and the more I do, my career is going to go. No, that's not actually true. It's motion doesn't actually equal progress.
Right.
So I had to like slow down a little bit and be still, like, creating bond and memories with my family
Mm.
actually shifted my career. And that just didn't seem like that would go hand in hand, right? Like you're like,
Yeah.
no, I should be doing stuff, you know? So for me, I think, and I know like with my family and my friends, like this time has been a time for reflection of self, of
Yeah.
like who you are. Am I doing something that I love? I think that I've seen a lot of people. I have a friend who super inspired me. Like she took a break. She was working at home and then she took a break from working at home. And I think it was like in finance. And she was like, she went to school for like design and
Right.
architecture. And she was like, I want to do fashion. I want to do something fashion. And she just started her own styling company. And it was so different from what she was doing. And it's just very inspiring for me to see that because she was just so, at the time, she was like feeling sad about not being happy at work to like now doing something she loves.
Yes.
And yeah, and I think like when you have that kind of time
Hmm.
where we were forced to be indoors and stay at home and not go out as much. It's like you only have yourself around, and
Right.
then you have to get to that person even better than you did before. So it's inspiring. I think. I
I,
think.
Me too. I think so. It brought family time back together again, like in the 40s, you know.
Yeah, it's almost like it made me think. Well, why don't I always do family time on Sundays? Like, why don't
Yeah.
I, back in the day, when Sundays there wasn't, stores weren't open on Sundays. I don't know.
Right. I remember that very well.
Well, why don't I kind of bring that in my own life? Like
Hmm.
Sundays, like just about family and not technology, like maybe do something in nature or go out or whatever, but like be together on a Sunday and just kind
Hmm.
of avoid technology or something, like, being on our phones and just kind of hanging out or whatever, just hang out with family. So have
Right.
like family time and really kind of just once a week. Maybe people do that anyways, but I'm like, oh, I'll just take away like my no phone day or something, which very
Yeah.
inspiring, like self reflect and really get to know my son all over again, my
Yeah.
family,
Have time
like,
with him. That because
yeah.
people get so busy. Everyone's so busy all the time.
And in like I'm in the film industry, like actress, so there was, instead of um, in-person auditions, which I personally do miss. With the pandemic, we had to do a lot of self-tapes, which was also a positive thing in a way because it allowed us to actually live our life. And
Hmm.
if someone wants to work 9 to 5
Yeah.
or is a mom, they could spend the full day. I can spend time on my work instead of, it would have been different. I would have, if this didn't happen, I would be going, across town to go do auditions and try to pick my son up and pick it. Like it just ended up being more like workable around
Yeah.
a single mom schedule, anyways, for me. So, and I was able to just like do my self tapes and feel grounded and still versus like, I got to get to this place and I got to do this. And then I have to keep my kid here and I have to pick him up. And then, so that was kind of nice.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that wants to the room, but there's another part that like you can literally anywhere in the world now and self tape,
Right.
and so that's so nice. Whereas before it's like, I don't want to go away because I might miss an audition. So
Yeah.
I, that was a really unique thing for the industry to shift and see.
Well, maybe they
They
can
have,
continue on. Like eating outside is nice. I actually thought that was nice that people have the option. Maybe some of what we did in the pandemic in the industry to doing that, making it easier for people not having to travel, especially as single parents, because there's a lot of single parents out
yeah,
there. Make it easy. What if it worked? Why not use it?
yeah, that would
That,
be so nice.
right, I
And,
think
and
so.
that's where, even when you like, that was into your next question, do you think like, is it going to go back to normal or is it a new normal? And I think this is the new normal. It's like people want, I think this pandemic gave a lot of time to self reflect, and people want to travel now and they want to go see their family that's in, in a country that they haven't seen before or whatever.
Yeah.
And they don't have to go, oh, I can't go because of work. They could just take work with them if they're on a laptop, or I can do a self-tape
Yeah.
in Italy, like whatever, and
Perfect.
it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like that out there in the universe in Italy.
I know.
I would love to see go normal, but not the same normal that we had before. I really
Right.
think we kind of woke up a little bit and we're more conscious about things. And one of them is family and friends, um, and loving what you do. So I'm hoping that, I hoping that people are starting to like go, hey, I really love my job, so I'm
Yeah.
going to continue doing it, or I'm going to do something that I love, and that's going to be the norm.
Right. Is there anything that no one has asked you in an interview that you would have liked them to ask you?
I mean, I don't know. I think like maybe like if I wasn't acting, what would I do?
Yeah. Okay. Anna
I don't
Maria,
know. Like,
if you wasn't if you wasn't acting, excluding dance, what would you think you would do?
and so I asked the question. I don't even know it. I think I would like I would either be maybe that's why I'm so inspired by my friend. I would be like a designer, clothing
Really?
designer.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I would create clothing that's super comfortable that looks really cool. Like,
oh gosh, yes.
go out and then you come home and you don't take it off, because I change 2 times a day, because I go out and then I'm like come back in and I want to put jogging pants on. So I would create one thing. I love going to concerts. I do not want to stop dancing. I want to dance until I am 100.
80s.
I love the 80s.
Yeah, I love the music. It's just, I love all kinds of music, but it's fantastic, and it's very rarely I'll put the TV on, but I do watch occasional things like Amazon Prime and Netflix and stuff. I love watching stuff on that,
I just saw advertisement or like a trailer for this TV series called Physical, and it's on Apple, and it's about aerobics in the 80s. I don't know if you're interested in that, but I am super interested because I think that's so cool, and the hair and aerobics. Yes, back in the day, aerobics was empowering to women. So this is the whole story. I just saw the trailer. I don't know anything about it. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm kind of excited for that. I was like, oh, damn it.
Have you got any future projects that you'd like to share that you're allowed to share?
I'm in development with a digital TV series that I've created. It's called Singled Out, and it's about a group of women navigating the singlehood turned to sisterhood sort of thing. So yeah, it's just fun and upbeat, and it's kind of like a Sex in the City kind of esque series, a mini series.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so that's what I'm writing, and I'm in development for that, and hopefully by the end of the year we're in production for that.
Oh, that would be awesome. I think that if you write something like that, there'll be always someone that can identify with it, and that's how you reach people. Yeah. That'd be fantastic.
Exactly.
Keep me updated on that. I'd like to hear about it, and I'll definitely share it out.
Will.
So,
thank you.
You're welcome. Are you looking forward to going to San Antonio?
I am. I'm really, really looking forward to it. There was like a little bit of a serendipitous sort of experience. Like Gary, I'm going to be working with Gary, which I mean, he's an incredible actor and a friend of mine. So I'm really excited to work with him again. We worked on a film before called Monumental, and so it's been a few years.
Okay, you mentioned that.
Yeah, it's a good film. He I think helped write it and create it, and it was a great film. But also like a friend of mine, she just mentioned to me that her friend, she just saw him on like Facebook or something, and was like, are you doing this film in San Antonio? And he's in it too. So I'm looking forward to like having like knowing someone, what is it, 6 degrees of separation or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, just finding out like, working with good people, and it's always good to be on set and just meeting new people and creating
Yeah.
something together. It's just very magical. They say
Oh.
if a movie is created, it's a miracle, because just so many things, so many elements have to get together and align correctly to make things happen in this industry. So, I mean, here it is. It's a miracle that I'm literally doing this film. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah.
Congratulations. I hope you all have a fantastic
you.
time on it. And isn't it great that you find out on social media that they're going to be working with someone? Social media is fantastic for that.
Yeah, I know.
And Gary actually put your name forward to me because I said, I really love
Yes.
to interview some actresses, and I saw the Facebook post of his, and I saw your name, and then I saw you on, and he says she's in Instagram. AnnaMaria is in Instagram. He goes, tell her I said I sent you. I said, so he put your name forward. Yeah, he did. He's a nice young gent. So I was really pleased that he did, because you've been an absolute dream to interview. You've got a lovely personality. You've got a good outlook on life, and I know people will enjoy this interview, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I know you're on Twitter. I know you're on social media. I know you're on Instagram. Thank you, AnnaMaria. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And God bless. Thank you.